Welcome, everyone. We are going to dive into a premier draft for Forgotten Realms. I've hit Diamond. I don't always do that month to month, season to season, but frankly, the quick draft bots were so soft for their launch of Premier or Forgotten Realms. They're just exploitable with force black red with quick draft, and you'll get a good to unbeatable deck every time. I believe I have done it. I've forced it like 9 or 10 times now, and I haven't even completed all of the events yet, but I think I have 6 trophies so far with some left to finish. It's pretty absurd. Anyway, that's why I'm Diamond, is I just racked up a couple of back-to-back, trophies with this account on that format, but this is going to be much tougher. We don't get to just get an easy, no-brainer black-red monster. War Furnace says doesn't sound very fun, and that's I always, you know me. If you've been around here, you know that I preach reverse engineering from fun. Fundamentally, I don't necessarily even mention it every time, but it's always with the caveat: do this if you find it fun. And while I'm off it, right? Like I stopped. Like it was actually quite fun. I found this weekend to kind of find the secret a little earlier than the world. Not that than enough of the world so that I could crush, right? Like there were plenty of people who understood what was going on, and I had a lot of black-red mirrors, but I was doing well in them. And the whole experience of crushing with a exploitable bot was fun for exactly one weekend, and now I'm less interested in it, right? So, Bub Woko unfortunately showed that Magic is still Magic, forced and got a bunch of 3 losses. Sorry about that. I still stand by it as kind of the correct way to approach that format. I don't know how you felt about your losses. Sometimes you're like, yeah, I went 0-3, but it was mana screw, and then got crushed in a close one. Or, I had a close mirror and lost, right? In which case, haven't learned much about the force there. If you've watched this channel, though, you've learned a lot about my sponsor card, Kingdom.com, and why you should force them as well. I shouldn't force that either. I always say Card Kingdom's not the only place you can buy Magic cards. In fact, I can mention my own store. I sell Magic cards too, and I've actually been uploading. If you like, Card Kingdom has me crushed overall on Bling, but I've been taking this binder that I had that was a trade binder for like casual and commander type cards and players, and I'm putting all of those in my store. So it's just like a lot of foils. Like I'm not even done yet, but like here's I just got a bunch of foil legends and that I'm putting up on my store, so you can check that out. Maybe there's some bling there you want, but boy, I'm never going to beat Card Kingdom in terms of inventory. Like, not even, that's why they don't care that I even talk about my store. Like, they crush me so hard in all the places that really matter that they're like, sure, you can talk about your store as long as you keep telling people about your affiliate link and sending them to us. And, by all means, check out my store, see if I got what you need. But you know that if I don't, you know where to go. It's Card Kingdom. They got it all. They are what I aspire to as a retailer in terms of I learned from what they do, and I'm kind of beholden to their prices too. Their buy list is so good, I kind of have to match it or I don't get new cards. So if you're looking to flip cardboard, you got to go to Card Kingdom. Thank you for all your support and all of the link usage over the years here. It's getting on years now that they've been supporting me that way. We'll dive in for some gems and get into draft view. Let's see. Hoarding Ogre called as Mythic Common. I don't know if it's a Mythic Common, but I've come up on it. I thought the 3/3 body was a little slight, but really, in a good aggro deck, you can clear the way for this, and it does good stuff. But yeah, this is a super weak pack. Maybe I'll just take a Cloister Gargoyle This is not even the best card, but I feel like I need to explore back towards blue-white dungeoneering, sky dungeons, and see if it works. So yeah, this is not really playable. So I don't even think this is the best card in the pack. You can make a case for the weaponry to just take a stand in red, or the ogre to take a stand in red. There's no black to speak of besides Thieves' Tools, which I think is whatever. Yeah, well, we can start here, but like I said, here's the thing, Pablo. You might, and I kind of think you're right. Pablo says black-white is way better than blue-white. I think you're right, but also I have never not trophied with blue-white sky dungeons. I've never not. That being said, there's nothing to take here but Grim Bounty or Owlbear, so might as well take the Grim Bounty. Oh, sorry, there is a White Dragon. Yeah, we could just take the White Dragon too, but the removal jumps out at me. This whole column here is all defensible. I glossed over this, but didn't catch my eye at first because the fancy art on Grim Bounty did. Oh yeah, War Furnace, that's what I mean. I've been describing it as like, I shouldn't be trophying every time, but I am, and it's been a lot. I feel like I've gotten pretty darn lucky. I think we take Grim Bounty, and then this is just the best card here. White Dragon is one of my favorite dragons, but I think we just take the removal spell, especially since we didn't pass black of any significance in our pack. There's no more black here, so maybe it's just not there for us. Displacer Beast would do the blue-white dungeoneering thing, but I should just take Priest if I'm going to take a blue-white card. This is just goes in any deck. And the whole, if you... Despite my success with blue-white, I'm not rushing to get into it besides almost stream meme value. It's not like I'm trying to force it offline or something, but I am trying to find my way back to it at some point and see if I can keep the streak going and trophy with it again. I think it'll be hard to trophy and diamond with it, but let's take a solid card. Goes in any white deck and is solid in it. Cleric has been okay. When you go get that that jewel, the treasure removal, the treasure O-ring, it can be important to just be able to summon up removal. Sphere of Annihilation is slow, but it does do the thing. It's like, I know Luis didn't love this card in the set review because you see it coming. Like, Wraths are at their most useful when you can get them, like, untap, boom, not untap, hey, heads up, boom is coming, right? That's a lot worse. But it's still a unique effect, and kind of want to, like, yeah, people don't play around this. So, so let's take it. See, we can't make use of it, but also continuing to try to find what's open, which might continue. Like, white is decently open here. These aren't exciting cards, but they are here. I'm looking at Champ versus Cleric, and I feel like we're going to want a Cleric. Manticore is also totally defensible. It gets better if you've got some First Strike going around. It does cut black, which is the more contested color, it would seem. But I think I'm going to go for a 2 over a 4. When struggling, go ahead and take the cheap drop. Very fascinating that Painter is still here. Black-red is such a known quantity. It's very surprising to me to see it here. Pick 6. Deadly Dispute is more imminently playable, but I'll abandon these 3 white cards if the table wants me to be black-red. I think we got to take Painter here and see. The thing is, there hasn't really been any red to speak of. We'll see. I think we're still just trying to figure out what the table wants us to be doing, and this is interesting as well. There hasn't really been any green, and then suddenly Spoils is still here, and Gorgeous George is a fine choice. You hear something on the watch. If we were sure we were going to be white, we just take this, and I know I do like taking this and kind of staying Mardu, and this is somewhat signally, but this is strong enough in white that we should just take the strong card in what we've already got going. And what's really brought me up on this card is realizing how good... I just was thinking of this as attacker-only removal, but the +1/+1 truly matters. It comes up a much higher percentage of the time than I thought it would on the card, even when you're not like some sort of go-wide aggro deck. It's just +1/+1 at instant speed for team can just do some stuff sometimes. Not much here can do some stuff. A lot of green again. There's this conjure, but even if we were to end up in the blue-white dungeoneering, I don't think we'd do that. I'll take the map. Heck, for if anything, vault progress. I don't think we're playing this, but Gloom Stalker is grudging. Worth noting that the Tools was the only black card in this pack. It's not amazing. But it's good to see. Like, I think we do want to end up in black here, and if I might still be red, the Gloomstalker, even when I am doing the dungeoneering thing, is like, I'm going to take the Tools over the white card in case we backdoor into the red deck. I know, Pablo, but sometimes the hookup, that just means you can get a pack 2 hookup that's so extreme it can make your deck, and you're like heavy black, and you're pack 2 red. And see, we'll take a Boots of Speed, and maybe that happens. I mean, this Displacer Beast could be part of the dungeoneering thing, but I'm going to take the Boots, continuing to hedge to the unlikely possibility here, but this is good to see again as well. These aren't quality, but they're black, and we're black, so just good to see them late. I don't think we are gonna run 2 Thieves Tools, so I'll just take the auto select card here. None of this matters. We hope to not play this. There's where I don't mind a Gloomstalker. Like, this is okay, but not enough. Like, if there had been some black-red bomb, that would have been a reason to push hard there. But without that, I think we just take a Paladin or Containment. I think Paladin's the more important card here. I will take 7 of these if we got 7. I only want 1 or 2 of these at most. And yeah, if we're trying to be black, we'd like to get our removal from the black side of our deck. Yeah, I'm going to go with my 2-drop gut there, but it's not obvious because removal is important. It's just that I don't find that removal to be as important to prioritize. Rally Maneuver is possible 2 for 1. Hawk could just add to the aggressive approach, and possibly if we get a torch, it can do some dungeoneering. But I don't know. We're not really doing a heavy dungeon thing here. We got some stuff that's looking at it a little bit, but maybe I should look at it harder. I don't know. Yeah, nothing great here, but Deadly Dispute's obviously playable. Rally Maneuver is playable. Hawk is playable. We just got to figure out which one of these playables. I think I'm going to take, Dispute versus Hawk. Here's what I mean about getting removal from the black side of your deck. This is tough, though. I want the Skullport Merchant. I want the Grim Bounty. I want the Vorpal Sword. I want the Power Word Kill, but I think we are just on Power Word Kill for a straight power level. Yeah, it misses on some excellent stuff, but and yeah, this is kind of cool and threatening, but it's very densely black. We're pretty, we're pretty heavy white. I think I'm gonna go with the excellent removal spell. The instant speed 2 mana is hard to argue with. Here's where I don't mind grabbing a first Containment. Regulars know that I'm a little higher on the torch than most, but only in dungeoneering. I mean, I just think the key to the dungeon, in my experience, what's made those blue-white decks function and work is that I do get this thing going. It's super clunky, and you get run over, and if you have 2 torches early, it's trouble or whatever. But I have had success in tossing this on flyers and just dungeoning every turn. Like, you compare this to the +2/+2, and it's like, the Delver's Torch is so much better than the +2 mace, because you get to go through the mines and put a counter anyway. Like, you get the extra bonus. Yeah, the ally wearing the torch is just sick. Go Rogue here, though, over Skelly. You like the 4-drop? It does do the venturing thing, but again, I'm not even super concerned about getting it this way. I'm just going to take a playable 2. I don't love this card, but it's got 2 power, it costs 2 mana, and it has no drawbacks. We can go, you hear something on the watch again, but we're kind of getting, we're getting some removal now. We got Containment, Grim, Power Word. I think we might just want the Hawk. You want to take this? I suppose if we ended up with like the, I'm gonna take a Hawk here. And then here's where I can take a Torch and it might do the thing for me. Wow, Paladin late. Containment. Now that we have a containment, though, we could take Moonblessed and just have a creature that can go fetch us this if it's what we want to draw. Which I think the option to draw a second is maybe just going to be better than the second. I don't know. That's my reasoning. Rally Maneuver still here, but I think I'm going to go with the creature side. We have a torch now, so Hawk, put a torch on a Hawk. That's not the worst. Vorpal Sword comes back, so okay. Hopefully we're not playing that removal. Yeah, it'd be nice to find something else that we might want to fetch with Cleric, but I also like that we do have that hedge. You know, that we might find a thing that we're like, oh, that's really great, and we have the Moonblessed Cleric to get it. What's going on here? I guess we go ahead and just take our signpost over this sweet blue mythic. This thing has a reason to be in blue. Good lord. But we'll just do what our deck is doing. We'll just do what our deck is doing. Crushed with this yesterday, or not yesterday, a couple days ago. When did we have this? Oh yeah, we did. This was in one of my forced quick drafts. What do you say we cut the red? This is a deck that's going to like the Precipitous Drop, which is nice. It's a little early for it. I kind of wish we were getting these super late, but we'll take this. Portable Hole is interesting removal, but another drop might just be better. It's cost 2 more mana, but it's going to get most of the stuff the Hole is going to get creature-wise, and it's doing the Dungeoneering thing, right? So I'm going to take the drop over the Hole, but only because of what our deck is up to. And now that makes the Moonblessed Cleric interesting, because Precipitous Drop we can also fetch with the Clerics, right? So that's interesting. We could just take Manticore and Dispute here, but keep that in mind. We now have 3 removal-based auras. And so now I'm liking the moon-based cleric again. Moon-based cleric. It's this cleric lives on the moon. Yeah, one of them 3/3 flyers would be nice. Not too late. Maybe we got 2 more fresh packs, and it's the type of thing that could show up late. We're best of 1. I don't think this deck is looking to play a Dawnbringer Cleric. We got a nice deep bench at 2. The flexibility is not nice enough, though. I just, man, I love this in best of 3, but I mean, I guess we're not playing another Eyes, so I'll take it so that we have it as an option, but I'm going to bench it right now. Yeah, Vault Progress, technically probably slightly more valuable to us than that, but it's not that big a deal. Another drop, another Dungeoneer, but not a great one. Kind of gets outclassed. We only have 13 creatures as it sits, though. So Hexblade or Dungeoneer could be interesting. I think we take the Dungeoneer. We're also not super deep on 4s. We need creatures, and that's a slot in the curve that we're not super full on. We got a couple Eyes, right? Or we got 1 Eyes. I'll take the actual Beholder this time, and we'll see. I don't think we need this, but we can take it. Paladin has done some work. The Vigilance is real for sure, especially, but maybe a Feign Death. You know I like a Feign Death, but especially, Feign Death with Sphere is interesting as well. I'll take a Feign Death and we'll see. Maybe I'm just being unfair to the Pally there, though. Zombie Ogre over Hawk or Torch. I think 1 Torch is going to be fine since we have other equipment. And Ogre... Ooh, or Robber. Boy. I don't know. I went for the Ogre, but I don't know if that was the right pick out of that pack. Yeah, that's fair, Hat. Maybe I wasn't aware enough of my 2 situation. Monk, maybe. Yeah, Robber with Sword would have been fine. That's not a bad pickup creature-wise. Found a lane. Reasonable deck. Got a bomb passed to us. That was nice. We passed a bomb to somebody else. Somebody is blue at this table and happy with that mythic. And then what do we got? I probably not doing Thieves' Tools. If we had ended up with the Death Toucher that Saboteur Ventures, maybe, but I don't know if we're thieving. I like the birds when we're playing Torch and Sword. These are the 2 reasons that I don't mind the Hawks. If they were never going to be augmented, I think you'd be right. Let's see. Cut the tools, like I said. I like Feign Death in the black-red quick draft queues, but I'm probably overrating it to consider it here, given what's going on. Sphere's not just bad. It does something too unique and powerful to be bad. It's just Sweeper that gives you some warning. It's not, one of the reasons it's not bad is that you get to choose X. So if you're playing, and we might even cut it, but the defense of this card, though, and why it's not, quote, bad, why it's a narrow tool that you have to decide if your deck wants, is that the being able to decide on X means that you can build a deck that goes over the top of this and you sweep out underneath it. I think that's pretty powerful. That's a powerful thing to be able to do. However, it might not be for us. I think we need cuts, and we can, if you think this belongs in, we can talk about it. It does just do that unique thing too. So yeah, but I think, Pablo, this is the kind of thing that people are going to put inappropriately in decks, which is why I'm trying to call out specifically what I think it can do well. So let's cut that. One here, something, I'm still going to cling to that. What's our current numbers overall? 1710, but we do kind of need to cut something. We got really nice removal here in power, 2 drops, containment, and Grim Bounty. So it is a little on the redundant side. Yeah, if we want to cut one of those creatures, I think Gloomstalker is a fine choice, which just shows why it's not that great. I mean, this is a Dungeoneering deck, and we're not really interested in that card. Oh, Rogue is very medium, but we don't have a lot of 2s. As Hat pointed out, that was a reason to take the 1/3 Treasure Saboteur. I'm not cutting a 2-powered 2-drop with no downside in a deck this low on 2-drop creatures. Yeah, Manticore could go. I would cut Manticore before Peggy. Peggy is doing real jobs in terms of getting damage through, taking something that wasn't getting through and launching it, and also, again, wearing a torch. I'm telling you, Flyers, if you can make it to the mid-late game and start putting torches on Flyers, it takes over. And yeah, Deadly Dispute is a legit... this is just kind of strong. We've seen this so many times before, and it's been so whatever. But boy, the fact that you can sacrifice treasure and you can you gain a treasure just puts this card into the playable, up from playable and into actively good. Yeah, that being said, it's viable. I have it over here in the cut camp. We'll put this in the possible cut camp. I think we got to play the Vorpal Sword. Again, we have Flyers that are just going to be happy to have +2, and then the Flyers are also, if we happen to get to 8, threatened to end the game. Well, we have Dungeoneering, which inherently creates treasure, and we also have Grim Bounty, which creates treasure. So that's where I see treasure coming in. And mostly I'm just talking about the in the abstract, why this card has been better than this effect has been historically. So maybe one or both of these. We're at 16 creatures. And we're at 4, and I do want to play 17 lands here. So we are on 3 cuts, and we probably want 1 creature and 2 spells. So maybe just cut both of these. Hear myself on that. And then I liked either the Monk, the Manticore. I think these are the only ones it's Monk or Manticore. They both represent a weaker form of removal, and we have good removal. Manticore at least can wear the torch decently. So I'm going to cut the Monk, even though I don't think Pablo is wrong to say I don't love Manticore. I don't love Manticore either. Our other option are these. We could bring in a Gloomstalker if we just wanted to try and get a payoff for... But again, I just think Manticore is likely to do more damage to your opponent over the course of a game, flying over for 2, than this is eventually getting double strike and saying, "Get out of the way, Gorgeous George, I've got double strike," you know. Yeah, this does represent critters. How about I want to get going. I'm gonna go with this. I don't know. Okay, anybody? No Bling Redemptions that I see yet, so I'll shake the tree here, see what I decide. How about Bolt Sleeves? And that's our signpost. That's our plan right there. Manticore is like a bad 4-drop that sometimes is a randomly, like, oh my god, that actually just behaved like a Chupacabra. You know? Sometimes it's Chupacabra mode because you incidentally get the damage that was going to happen but mostly, whatever. But we have equipment, and flying in plus equipment is decent. I don't think there's default lands. We'll do Mirage today. Free Mirage for Tron. And yeah, we want the white slightly more because of the Hawks. And Hawking Adventure. What do we got here? We've got Paladins. I don't know. I'll show you that Hawks are fine. Everyone wants to tag everything as bad. Hawks have need to have a specific job and need to be augmentable. Hawks are bad if they're never getting above 1 power. We've got a Vorpal Sword, we've got Delver's Torch, and we have a plan to complete dungeons, and all those things combine to making these be fine here. So let's go. Sure, I like calling this Cawblade. That's funny. And we'll put Ranger's Hawk on the top. All right. What do you think? All right. Hey Solaris, thanks for the raid. Welcome, Raiders. You caught us in game 1 here. We found ourselves in a... White was pretty wide open, and so we've got a black-white dungeoneering deck. And here's our... We got this passed to us, I think, pack 2. And that solidified us in black, and we didn't look back. Gonna hold the power word kill. Maybe if they spend this treasure on a 4-drop, we'll get something worthwhile to take out. But in the meantime, just keep swinging. Dungeoneer next turn, if nothing else. And 1 land away from dropping a very difficult to beat Planeswalker. Thank you, Solaris. Hope you had a good one. Yeah, we can power word kill that, and might as well kill it now before the Innkeeper gets an extra point of power. I don't love using removal that early, but we just have a plan here. We got our mana's all tied up coming up, so might as well smoke that while we got it. Play this after combat. Might as well attack, threatening some mana. Hoping to scry ourselves some land. And there it is. We're going to keep that, and we get a very nice curve. We have 1 mana unspent so far. This pesky power word kill was only 2.
Everything's coming up Millhouse.
And we get to attack with everything, too. I'm not worried about a dungeon, the innkeeper on this board.
I will show you what happens when the spy... A gift in exchange for loyalty.
So I have solved the issue where I know you can hear sounds too. I have sketchy Bluetooth. Sometimes it garbles. I'm curious, do you hear the garbling? Like her line of dialogue for me just had a hiccup. I'm just curious if you all hear the hiccup or if that's just the translation to my through the Bluetooth. Okay, good. I don't mind if it garbles in my ears here and there. I just want to make sure that you're not experiencing that. Well, I guess that was the answer.
At least there is blood on your hands.
But we get, for our troubles, 1 card and 2 creatures out of that. So not the worst result. Not the worst result. Would have liked to have drawn some cards, obviously. We could bounty the Death Toucher so our Dungeoneer can get through more reliably, but I don't mind if they want to take out the Dungeoneer, or let's just Peggy the Dungeoneer and then offer the spiders this turn. That's nice. Then we get a turn of damage with the Dungeoneer, and we can trade off for the Death Toucher next turn if we want, or bounty it next turn. We get a whole turn to see what Oppo can come up with. Yeah, Oppo says, I cannot come up with a win. One to the good. Nice start. When they come up with a very good answer to your Planeswalker and you win the next turn anyway. That's why it's a very good Planeswalker. Well, I'm going to keep. We got stuff to do for, well, I'm going to keep. It's asking a little bit, but we're on the draw. If this were the play, I don't think I would keep, but we can keep this on the draw since we have something to do on 2. And desperation, any land, we have a containment. I don't want to do this early, but we could. And if we, of course, find our swamp, then we have a pretty nice drop sword. Need 2 swamps, though. I guess I got 2 double black spells, so maybe I'm putting too much pressure on this hand. Now I'm questioning it. Yeah. I think I have to send this back, because I wasn't really thinking about the sword needing a second black to equip. I've really got 2 dead cards in my hand, unless we get lucky on black. So I'm going to mulligan this. Change my mind. And this looks a lot better. We get to keep this, send back a plains, and have a plan for the first few turns. Nice draw, too. That helps you come back from a mulligan. Right, just too many things we were asking of that hand to keep. I need multiple swamps and creatures and low drops or whatever. It's like, wait, that's too many. You're asking for too much from that, Ryan. Good card. I'm just going to go with biggest here. They likely play something else they can just trade off here, but if they don't have a turn 3 play, it's best to just try to get busy against this thing. Good card. I underrated this at first, and I think I passed it in a spot where I was playing black. I just didn't see it. I think I missed that it was like any creature, that you can just throw this +2 anywhere. Itself, elsewhere. All right, so they're stuck on mana. We're going to be happy and take that when it happens in our favor and offer up this champ. Good time zone, Robert. Yes. Should have caught. Here, I'll go back to my opening look for Robert since he missed it. This is how I greeted chat this morning. Oh yeah, the earbuds are working. All right, what are we doing? Priest. These are Jabra 65T Elite. Where is it? I got the box right here. Well, I've destroyed the box, so it's not very useful. Oh, look. Her again. Kind of like blow up spawn for the guaranteed treasure. We could also just go Paladin Rogue for extra defense for the Spider Queen if we just draw. Yeah, we could. I like that. Let's do. Let's give our deck a chance to just give us some mana, and then get super wide. And now if we get the land, this Spider Queen is so well protected, and if not, we have the Grim Bounty play, and they're stuck on 2. This is just going to get a scoop. Let me figure out. I'm going to attack with the Rogue and the Champ first. Give him a chance to. You like? Oh right, yeah. Sorry, I forgot her ability. Mistake. It's not going to matter because we're about to play the best card in the set against an opponent who's mana screwed. But definitely a mistake not to pre it. It's heuristics, right? Play your stuff after combat. So I kind of just mentally went with the heuristic. All right, so that was a mistake, but we are going to keep going. Stuck on the song of the day? I don't understand. I'm saying things to generate discussion. Oh. Well, let's draw a card. I'm very surprised Oppo hasn't scooped, to be honest. I think we just drop the spawn. It becomes a 1/2, and then everything can just... You like killing the Paladin? It's not doing anything. I'm just gonna bounty the spawn. And 2 blockers from Menace is a good point. I shouldn't leave it to that chance. I'll leave my expendable critters back and send in these. Yeah, that's true. I might be playing with my food here. Dave is probably right. Being a little too tentative given my advantage. We now have 2 drops to play, so I don't see how they can come back from this though anyway. Don't even need to use treasure for it. I'll check here in case. I'm impressed that Oppo is even sticking with this.
Run, but we will catch you.
That's technically lethal right there. And drop doesn't take that thing out of the way, so I might as well just send in the lethal and play the drop if we need to. I don't think we'll need to. Don't hate the Cawblade, hate the R&D that made Cawblade. See you, Robert. Yeah, War Furnace says some people just never concede. I know people who believe that it's rude. You know that you don't. That they would be taking away my fun if they scoop there. Now, normally I don't expect people with that attitude in the diamond levels, but cool. I don't need, like, as a game designer, you don't have time for that. Like, you gotta scoop the games where you're not learning anything anymore and they're over. You gotta move on. No 2 here, but we're going to keep, looks like too good of a hand to throw back. Maybe we'll find a 2 in the first couple draws. That would be sweet. Don't mind a 4th land here, but boy, yeah, 2-drop would be just perfect. Let's see if it's Millhouse time. No Millhouse for us, but at least we're not under huge pressure at this point. If we can trade off a priest for that, that'd be amazing. Oh, Torch. You would have been fine last turn. You're just 1 turn late. Oh, that is too bad. I mean, it's like the difference between equipping this for 5 and 3 in a sense. But let's priest it. Yeah, quest progress is real, but there was no, like, in that spot, the opponent let us attack for lethal and then let the lethal damage connect, right? Or maybe they scooped with lethal on the way. But anyway, the point is there was no quest to be completed by letting us, attack. Null Hunter. This is where I suppose they could haste something that would be a little scurry. Manticore. We don't really have a great mana use here. I don't think we want a Bounty or Manticore. So I'm going to start, though, with the lore attack. And then, yeah, probably just Gargoyle. Or, yeah, we can tutor up drop. Yeah, I like that. Let's tutor up the removal that we like. This is much better with the drops than it is with the jewel removal that you don't always want to play early on. I like JC's line. It also just gives us power for the board, and we certainly don't mind trading this off for the Death Toucher. So this, I'd rather hold the Gargoyle until it's going to fly later. And then we can drop and torch and at least spend all our mana next turn. And what do we want to drop? The Death Toucher gets anything, but I don't care about these creatures. This is the scarier offensive threat long term, and it can outgrow the drops. So I think I'm going to go for the Null Hunter. It scares me more. And yeah, we'll take that, and we'll go ahead and draw another drop. Next turn we can potentially Cleric equip Torch, and that's a pretty good turn. Or we can Cleric Gargoyle. We'll see. I suppose we might find something we want to bounty, but I'm not imagining. Well, I don't know. We'll see. If they drop George, we'll probably bounty it. Yeah, there you go. We can also send in our... actually, I kind of like... Oh, we even get Treasure... We can bounty it, but hear me out. Hear me out. We got Manticore. This is a great Manticore target. If we can upgrade the Priest into a Manticore and take out the Herd Gorger along the way, that seems good. I can equip up the Torch to make them more inclined to block, and then we have to get Treasure and use it on the Manticore, though. I'm going to send in, and then if they don't block, we can choose to bounty, potentially. And, yeah, given that... Although, I don't even care if they attack with that. Like, I still kind of like Moon-based Cleric, get the drop, and Gargoyle. Yeah, it's fine. We can actually take a hit from that. I don't care about no... Gorgeous George yet. We could get the containment at this point. They've got a lot of mana. I kind of like the delving, the venturing, but we have that torch to help us venture. So I'm going to take hard removal here and play the Gargs. Now we can set up Chump with Goblin Manticore Gorger. And keep our crazy good hard removal. So like this leaves us... Oh, we don't have the treasure though, so that wouldn't do it for not making treasure. This thing... Well, we can see maybe they'll, yeah, bounty and containment. We have ward to deal with those. So if we bounty, we get containment. Yeah, we don't have enough because of the ward. Interesting line though. I'm gonna send in. I mean, may as well see if the Manticore can take this thing out. Might as well attack. I don't think they're going to block. Oh, they are going to do it. Okay. That's fine. And I'm going to core that and might chump the Gorger. Yeah, I'll chump the Gorger now that we're using up the Manticore play anyway, and then we bounty or contain the Gorger next. I didn't even know these were available. I haven't gone to the store in a while. These lands are freaky. We could also just take this again. Save a goblin, go to 6. We're not in super danger. Well, no reason to take, or the reason to take is to keep a 1/1 that can apply pressure back the other way. But yeah, there are cards that could kill us out of nowhere, so we'll be super safe. People don't really play that card that I guess they play the uncommon modal. We also have this to deal with now. I kind of was like looking at it. Oh no, sorry, this is a temple. I always thought that was one of the creature lands. It's also hard to read these things. Choose your weapon is definitely playable. I was thinking of the other one. I guess we just take out both of these, and can we do it all? 4, 5, 6, 7. We can't equip and do both of these, but I do like bounty. Yeah, we can actually just we could take this for a turn. I like that. I don't know if we need to kill that right now. We can just send this, and if we put a counter on this, it asks an interesting question, right? And if we attack, we're not completing here. Well, if I send in the cleric and put a counter on it, they can't double block with the gobos. They need to block with this. That's what appeals to me about that. And then we'll get natural flyers anyway. So yeah, I'm going to do that. You like the counter? I get it. You want counters on the other stuff. I'm putting the counter here to really kind of make them have to make this trade. I think this is amazing for us. We have hard removal and effectively 2 flyers and a torch. I'm not sure what they're up to. This might be a free block. It's probably just a free block because we're an 04. I'm going to call the bluff. I don't know what they're getting us with in red green. If it was black, I'd be worried about a Manticore, you know? Because what are they going to do? You tell me what I'm playing around. That's really going to blow me out. I mean, if they use a trick, that's fine too, even. Yeah, all right. So we got him. So we could have them at 4 now. I guess that makes it so that one creature could threaten lethal, but it doesn't change the clock unless our creatures die. And going back into a dungeon, they're at effectively 4 because we have Tomb of Annihilation to hit. So still not going to be enough. Dead to Tomb. They paused, though, suggesting this could be something. I don't know what for 4 mana in these colors kills a 4/5 though. I guess there's a anti-flyer tech that could kill this in green. Nah, no Fallout lunchbox. maybe they were like, I'm gonna get them when they equip, you know? But they should have done it before attacking, yes. Just kind of thinking through things as they're unfolding, and my thought was kind of moot by the time it came to me. All right, rattling off some wins here. Powerful cards. I'm glad the torch did its thing there. I've touted the torch as being a solid piece of equipment if you've got the flyers to throw it on, and that just showed you why. I mean, it racks up the value. Good call, Blood Gaze. It was an enchant or an artifact, so it could have been shattered in some way. If the torch can attack a few times, it just outclasses the mace. I was saying earlier that, you know, one of the things the torch does is takes you through a dungeon that throws a +1/+1 counter on a creature. So as soon as you get down the cave dungeon enough to get a +1/+1 counter on your flyer anyway, you've made up for that +1/+1 difference in the strength of the two equips. Of course, you don't get to re-equip that +1/+1 counter, but you do get to go back into the caves and make more of them. This is an easy keep. Don't know if we'll see anything we want to kill. Ideal would have been a 2-drop alternative to Power Word kill. We might not spend our mana on 2. Show me even like the 3/1 Gobbo, I think I would pick off with this. You show me a real card, I'll pick it off, but I'm not going to throw this away on just anything. Is that a real card, gang? What do you think? Is that just anything? Oh, kill it, kill it, kill it, kill it. Sad we don't have a 3-drop. That's a missing part of our curve in this particular game, but maybe we'll make up for it. I hate not spending on 3 though. That's a rough beat. Oh, and Vorpal Sword shows up. You would have been fine on 3. Let's go Dungeoneer and see if they want to attack into it with their first strike. And then we can Peggy the Dungeoneer for some damage. Yeah, let's keep that. Precipitous Drop, killing the Rust monster, and we can play this and drop the sword. Speaking of drop. Alright, no attack though. Let's see, do they have blocks? If they block, we only get a 1-for-1. So I think I'm going to leave the Dungeoneer back. Oh, we can even wait. Maybe I will go Peggy here, fly the Dungeoneer, and we'll do the whole sword cleric thing coming up. When we're at 20, it's no big deal if they get an attack in with the Rust monster. I'm going to get our aggro on. Now, if it stays on itself, that's interesting. And okay, say because a Rust monster attacking as a 2/1 into the Peggy is an interesting claim from Oppo. You know, it would clearly signal some sort of trick. Whoa! Bingo for Oppo, but hopefully we can get him dead before this matters. I'm gonna go Cleric Sword here. And continue to attack in the air. No kidding. Magic is so close to disaster, right? This is one mountain away from a non-hand. We can drop, get treasure, and equip the sword. I'm kind of thinking that's the play. Yeah, maybe I didn't need to worry about removal. Maybe I got locked into my my early game play brain and things changed enough to make this not the play. But see, we can trade for the Gobbo here. Especially with 2 Valor Singers. And then, yeah, as long as it keeps our swamp open. Oh, thanks, Prof. We'll do... Wait, what's it called? Oh, Precipitous. Sword on Champ, sure, that seems good, but attempting to win in the air seems even better. All right, nice low roll there. That's good to see. Can they beat us? Still got to attack. I don't think I stay back here. If they have another one of these, we could just lose, but make them have it. That's no big deal. We'll take that one. That could be a big deal. Wow, Oppo with the sicko draws. Let's see if we can still beat this. As sicko rolls, back-to-back nat 20s on cards that care. Oh, not back-to-back. This was a miss. Yeah, they went 23-20. And now we just need to survive. We're at 9. We send in this and drop them to 4. We could leave the Peggy back to make sure we can eat one of these. We need to chump this, and then like chump wherever. Like if we need to block these 2, they still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 points of power. So, argument for leaving back the Peggy, but also, like, yeah, we could re-equip Sword, but I feel like I need to play Champ. That's the thing. And we don't have the mana to play Champ and re-equip. So, I'm just figuring out if I'm sending the Peggy or not. And... see, I have blocks for... They could spread this around. So let's say they made a 3 we couldn't block. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I see 8 damage without help. I think we do it... Like, I don't think it matters. I think if we send the Peggy and only block with 2, I guess I'm going to leave it back because then we can still survive an attack to 1 piece of removal. That's why to do it. Sorry, had to puzzle that out. That was a tough spot. But I think this gives us the best chance to win. But Peggy can block without dying. Hawk can't block without dying. Wow, that was like the perfect card for them to have. And now they got its Xaxes. Come on. They could screw this up, I suppose, but all they have to do is put this on different things. And they had the one card that did it all, gang. Come on. Unreal. But we'll go here, and then die. Oh, I guess it wasn't. Any removal did it. Because we took 2, but it didn't matter. We were going to be at 0 anywhere. Good work, Oppo. That's why the card was in their deck. If blue isn't the weakest color, what is then, Hammer? Or is that your joke, that they really didn't play blue cards? We had the win next turn. I don't know what you're talking about. The idea was to block and the Peggy would live, Will. And your play sounds like it needs to move equipment around, and we had 3 mana. Like... Yeah. It's always possible I'm not seeing it right. There's many times where something doesn't penetrate my thick skull as I'm trying to process how a game played out, but the plan was sound. It just ran into removal. All right, nice little curve out here. We were only keeping it back, Will, to block, to make sure that we could block random goblin tokens and not lose to Exaxes. That's the whole idea, was that we had the 2/3 singers and 1/1 goblins that could be blocked by a 2/3, and our 2/3 would live. I was gonna go rogue, but we'll just go pally. Hope we draw a swamp, then I'll feel good about searching up a drop. But if we don't find a swamp, I don't know if we play this yet. Do kind of want to drop that, though. Maybe it's worth it. Play the cleric, get the drop. At the very least, kill the gobbo and scry, so we set up a draw for the turn after. What's our other alternative? We could offer this trade. That doesn't seem good. We could play rogue or torch. Don't love intentionally skipping a mana draw, but drawing removal that we know we can use is fine. I'm going to do it. The torch and equip, yeah, that's fair too. I'm going to do it though. I chose my line. I'm going to live with it. Yeah, I've never seen my opponents miss on a Morning Star. I've never hit, of course, but my opponents never miss. And let's go ahead and drop Champ and offer the Cleric. I guess we could offer both at this point. Like, whatever. You take our Paladin. Probably means I should have sent last turn, but I didn't know what they were going to play this turn. Let's see if we can scry ourselves a Swamp. That would be great. Containment? No, I think we do need to find some land here. I don't want to give Oppo containment anyway. But I'll make this offer. Pretty easy to take the 1/1 token for 2/2 lifelink trade, but I like making him take it. All right. Can't equip this stupid thing yet, but we do have a 2-spell turn after we attack. not the worst. Oppo pausing, so seems like they got something in hand. I don't know what. We will find out. But they have something instant speed for this 3 mana. Yeah, that they would have. Seems like they would have played that. I don't know. All right, it was Dragon's Fire. I'm just surprised they didn't do that. I mean, they had that. They didn't kill something. I guess they wanted to get my torch mana, but okay. I mean, I didn't have anything else to do, so like it didn't actually do anything. In this case, I'm gonna just send in the Cleric and drop Dungeoneer. They can equip up and attack 4/3, but we can trade with it. Kind of want to get counters going, but we need mana. Let's get this. I mean, I got a Spider Queen here. Let's get a darn treasure, huh? Can they even afford to attack? Maybe they need to try to luck into a couple of treasure and then have enough mana to spend to deal with our crackback. But no, they're saying can't afford to attack. But that makes me just want to, instead of going Spider Queen, go Grim Bounty. We'll get another treasure anyway that we can Spider Queen next turn. So we're going to just try and get them. They could have something in white that might save this somehow. I don't know exactly all the tricks. Maybe there's some indestructible or something. We could equip up the torch. We then win 3. Yeah, winning seems okay. Oh, they're pausing again though, so maybe this isn't lethal. Five damage to attacker. We'll still do this though. And they're still in trouble. They're keeping it going though. They're only mostly, this is for Oppo.
Your friend here is only mostly dead.
Oppo's like, no, hold that meme. Hold that meme. You got me. Well, to be fair, they knew their cards and we didn't. Nice 4 wins. I don't know where people landed in the par poll. I didn't catch the conclusion of that, but I would have put this around the 3.5, 4 win point. I feel like it's a good deck. And we have the, especially with the Spider Queen lurking in our deck somewhere. Frequently in our hand with how it's been going so far. Cue Spider Queen in opening draw. No? Boo. I'm not going to boo this opener though. Oh, we got the 3/4s thing again, which is not great. We could end up not doing anything on 3, but got to keep both colors. Paladin on 2. Yeah, now we kind of need a lot from our. We want, perfect is to draw a 3-drop followed by land. If I'm going to be very specific. Well, all right. Magic God's laughing at me there, which is fine, giving me this 3-drop as long as he then followed through with the land part, Magic Gods. That works, even if we don't find land. But there's land number 1. I could go ahead and bounty it. It has threat of activation, but it's not that scary. But if I don't want to trade the paladin, I should just kill it, right? I certainly don't want to bounty it. The question is, do we want to drop it and get in, or dungeoneer and get in? And if we dungeoneer, it kind of puts me off of attacking for a turn. I'm going dungeoneer. I think I'm just going to max my mana. Get the scry. I don't hate the scry. We want more mana. Pally number 2. Yeah, see, I don't want that. You don't hate the trade? Yeah, we can offer a trade. Sure. Yeah, they still might. I don't care. I think you're right. This is a fine trade. I should have done it first, but I'm not going to compound the mistake by then not offering it. Oh, great. That we're going to drop. Too bad it leaves a couple mana fallow, unless we want to make treasure, but there's nothing to treasure even, so offer trade first. Yeah, sure. Let's offer trade first. I don't think they will, but if they did, that would be amazing. I would just drop Zombie Ogre. We could race for a turn. I just don't even like them getting another free venture, so I'm going to do it. Nah, yeah. Oh, that's a good point. It does. Zombie Ogre now does give us an extra venture, so we trade a venture for a venture. All right, you convince me. We'll do it. I believe chat is correct. So we got a 6th land, and Precipitous Drop can give us a treasure if we want, which would allow us to then bounty. And bountying the 4/1 leaves them only with a 2/2 and a mess of attackers and a venture after that. So let's do it. Yeah, Grim Drop. I guess we go Grim Drop. We can get a creature, which is even better. I like it. Let's do that. Chat's on fire today. Counter, kind of like just making a 2/2, then they don't even have an eat here. You like a 4/6? Yeah, that's true. They do have mountains, so getting this to 6 toughness does survive the fireball. But I'm going to go with my initial instinct and create 3 things that can attack into their 1 creature. Immediately hit with the fireball. But this is why I did it. We're still in a good. We're still in an excellent spot, right? All right. Well, still in an excellent spot. We actually get. See, this is like, oh, hey, look, random Chupacabra. Cool. Sometimes it randomly does its thing well. We got card drawish stuff. Whatever. I'm not going to overthink it. I'm going to play this out. Tron says hold card. Oh, for Tomb, that's fair. Millhouse. Well, we can afford the Tomb anyway.
Everything's coming.
I'll hold this one. Whoop. Millhouse, you okay? Let's try that again, buddy. Try that again.
Everything's coming up, Millhouse.
Wow, Oppo clinging and us failing to draw out of it. Look at this. Nice plays, downtown. All we gotta do is venture, so I am gonna offer this trade. Although maybe I shouldn't, because we might draw a torch. Maybe I'm just supposed to try and draw a torch. Now I'll draw a torch, of course. My fault. Like, I hope we lose this now, because I should have thought that through and not done it this way. I mean, they should be dead right now. All right. We're out of drops, but we can take a containment. And I'll equip this now. So now they could still draw removal and still stop us, but we at least have removal for their biggest threat in the case that they do. I like containment because if they do stop this, we need to stop this. I don't know. Maybe that was wrong, David. I can't block. All right. Whew. Not punished. Free lesson. Think it through, Ryan. Play to your outs. That was a total fail to play to my outs that I was ultimately not punished for, but I acknowledge my mistake. Easy to acknowledge your mistakes on your 5-1 on your 5-1 result. Let me think about that containment question, though. If they don't have removal, you just win. So the containment question is about whether or not that's what you want. Should they kill your creature? Do you buy yourself more draws by having removal for the biggest thing? Like if you, because like if the, you know what I'm saying? If the containment extends the clock by even one more draw, it seems like containment is correct. But it could put you off of being able to attack with it in time. So I don't know. Oppo on the play, so we'll keep this. Yeah, I know, but the 2-drops have been hiding, but it's our fault, like, or my fault. Like, we didn't draft a ton of them. We got, like, how many things are we happy to play on 2? 4 creatures, the torch. We got the hawk. So 6, oh yeah, 7. 2 hawks, sword, torch, and then 4 2-drop creatures. Sometimes we're willing to play the power word, kill. Right, digging for more bodies to serve your torch is of course correct. The only question is, do you buy yourself more digging time by taking out their biggest creature? Uh-oh. Well, at least we have something to drop if we have to. All right, glad Oppo has not found something to do on 2. That's pretty big for us. Yeah, we had the... We had the sword. Kind of like cleric for another drop. If we drop them, they get treasure. Are we cool with that? I suppose. We do need a swamp. It would be nice to scry. I think I'm going to do this because I want the scry. I really want a swamp. I mean, we got Spider Queen and Zombie Ogre. Yeah, I'm going to pitch this looking for swampies. Getting on board has some merit, though. You could play this into the Peggy and be attacking reasonably. All right, we did scry ourselves to a second swamp. That's good to see. And do we want to go get a drop? Do we want to just Peggy for max mana? Kind of like holding the Peggy for attacks. So I'm going to go with the cleric and go ahead and find drop. You like containment here? They do have a significant mana, so maybe containment wouldn't be as bad. But I also don't mind the venture. Like, we're going to get to complete a dungeon pretty soon with drop, and ogre. And then drop can take... We could put this on something big and eventually get it with a 5/5. I'm going to take the drop, but the containment's an interesting argument. Here I kind of like send in Moon-Blessed Cleric, and how do they not trade? And then we just drop an Ogre. I'm going to try that. And gonna go with creatures. We got a Planeswalker to protect. I end up drafting pretty blind. But actually, my community is so on top of things that I find they help me through the early days of a format pretty nicely. Well, they're thinking similarly, that eventually the precipitous drop will get there if they can complete this dungeon. But we're going to say no blocks, take the damage, and in the meantime, try to get some free ventures off of dead stuff. Well, then, Droidian, this is why forever Wizards of the Coast really tried to push sealed, like open on sealed, and then draft later. So, like, if you are feeling unprepared and not ready to dive in and draft, go ahead and do a sealed. It's not the best value on the system, but come on, whatever. It's not that big a deal. All right, what are we doing here? We could send in... If we drop, we can put a +1/+1 counter on the Ogre. That means it would survive even Precipitous Drop getting to -5/-5, so I like that. Lotleth Make Dudes is also fine. Do we have enough to turtle up proper? You just have a lot of attackers, and it puts the queen to 1, which can generally be attacked through. I think I want to get a little more defense for the queen first. I'm going to go... I don't like drop, though, because it doesn't... But drop doesn't complete a dungeon. Oh, yes, it does. It would complete it by the end. Okay, let's do that. Good call. Thank you. That... except not if... I'm going to send in this, because I really want it to die. I don't think they'll block. But I had to do that. And now... See, because we can complete a dungeon, but not killing the dungeoneer. But maybe that's okay. Alright, I'm going to do it. It does complete our dungeon. And I can save the ogre in the event that they complete theirs. Wow, they're really working the card draw priest here. Gotta take that. We're getting to the place where a Manticore is going to be fine, though. I'm still going to slow roll the queen and drop a paladin and hold on the Manticore plan. Although we could, yeah, I'm going to do this once because I think they are going to keep sending the 4/5. We chump with a goblin, Manticore the 4/5, and then next turn looks great for the Spider Queen. Now we got our own. If we do this and find land, we can still play the queen, and if we miss, we can still play Peggy. I'm going to be a little greedy and do that. It's kind of good if we do, good if we don't. And I think we go Dungeoneer instead of Peggy. Could gain 3 off Pally, but now I like Dungeoneer. You think we're too low? You think we should still go for it? Because we could fly Dungeoneer next turn. Yeah, okay, we can get a little life here. That's fine. And Manticore is going to fly over, and then we have enough on the ground to threaten blocks. Just sending the flyers, so playing queen pre doesn't matter. Lotleth into dungeon, but we don't get treasure, right? I don't think we have 8, not 9. Unless I'm missing something. Dungeoneer doesn't make treasure. Treasure. There's no treasure choice for first entry into a dungeon. I'm just trying to figure out how greedy to be with the queen. I think I'm just going to send the Manticore. I'm going to be extra cautious. We've got a long way to go here, and I want to protect the queen. Yikes! Good turn from Oppo. I mean, we've got a great card here. But I'm going to take some damage. Grim Bounty is excellent. Excellent, excellent, excellent. What do we need to take out? The Ally or the Gargoyle? Gargoyle is bigger. Ally starts dungeoneering if it attacks. Neither of these have attacks into the either of these, and both double block gets either of these. We also have these. So I'm going to go with the thing that can venture. And we are still not at, certainly not at Tomb of Annihilation. Maybe you could make a case for Mad Mage, but nah. I think we're down the middle again. We need value soon, and that's the best way to get value soon. We don't need treasure. Let's get another critter. Vorpal Sword is amazing. It's does it even do it now? Like, we can't quite threaten lethal now. I don't think. Let's see. Maybe we'll. Oh, no, maybe we can. 8, 9, 10. Yeah, we can. And now we threaten winning the game. Yeah, I like put it on Spider, and yeah, treasure gives us enough black.
Subservience.
And we can re-equip in the air to threaten the... Well, actually, we can just re-equip on the other one, and then we can attack with it next turn, or block the gargoyle. And I like putting this on the Peggy, and then also the Peggy straight bounce blocks the gargoyle. And I'm going to still draw cards here. It's costing us life, but we have life to spare in that way.
Knowledge you seek.
I wanted to at least check. I think we should draw first, right?
Aren't I generous?
Now we'll throw this on Manticore. Oh, sorry, loyalty's at 3. I forget you can't see it with the Planeswalker. Power word kill, nice, but Oppo, done with it. Vorpal Sword actually threatened the game-winning effect to great effect, and so it won us the game slowly instead of instantly. Yeah, the saving the ogre really mattered, right? A must-block Death Touch Menace every turn is not super beatable. How many games out of 10 does Sword threaten the win? I think your pool number is too low. It should be like, it's 1 in 20 maybe? Oppo going first. This Sword is not going to equip anytime soon, but we do have a Hawk. I'm going to keep. Would you mulligan this? I think we got to keep. This could go horribly awry, but we're one swamp away from this being fine. Worst draw in our deck, of course, shows up on top. Queen laughing at us. Now this is trouble. I don't think... I took a risk, I kept, and now it's going to be rough. I'm not blocking the Hawk to keep him off of a treasure, so I'm attacking. But now we're kind of on find black or done. Yeah, I agree with Trontacular. You're generally going down, or sorry, I agree with Hat Trontacular. You're going down the middle unless you have a reason not to. Can we win from here? I'm gonna do a way early scoop and try to find a game I can win. I don't even know if that was way early. That was just not gonna happen. They get 2 to 5 more treasure there, 2 to 4 more treasure coming up. Yeah, that wasn't happening.
So you get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
All right. Risky keep ended things quickly. Full count. Let's get the trophy. Thanks, D. You know who to thank really for that, though. All the meme makers out there. Let's see. Maybe I'll find another one that we're not seeing much of. How's it look? All right. Nice. No complaints here. Looks great. Of course, our deck could find a way to, like, never deliver us a 4th land, but that is unlikely and leaves us looking pretty sweet. Knowing that we have even just Paladin into lore is so great. Right, we get an extra draw, and we already found it. So, perfect hand. Fire coming. Hi, Captain. Well, we're going to offer the Pally for that, and then drop the Priest. And just drawing great removal on top of all this could not be going better here. Now it's going better. Although I don't know if this is like our perfect draw. It's just fine. Getting this on a flyer is key. So I'm more happy to see the gargoyle, really. Don't think we need to kill this yet. Let's just drop Barrow in and then see about next turn what we want to do. Get the scry going. And do we want that land? It would let us Gargoyle Power Word kill. It does not let us, like, Vorpal Sword equip, though. I'm going to bin it. I just can't keep a land here. We have decent land right now. And if we don't draw another land, we can work with this. And if we do, that's fine. This is going to need a Power Word, especially if we draw a land. If we draw a land now, I'm going Gargoyle Power Word kill. If we don't, maybe I just Grim Bounty it. But ideally, we do find a land off the top. Ideally, it's a swamp so that we set up sword equip later. We didn't. We could go... Let's go power word kill torch then. Because then we can equip torch and it can attack into this conjurer. Yeah, I can make treasure, that's true. But I like... Bounty also gets literally anything, and this does have limitations that can matter. I mean, dragons and devils in this color pair more than anything, but... Merrick, interesting. My head space isn't up in that upper echelon of stuff. Oh, interesting here. Like 5/5 can't bounty it because of the ward. Kind of need to. I'm gonna dungeoneer so we get treasure so that we can for sure grim bounty this thing if they attack with it. Yeah, and a dragon. Yeah, there you go. I hate missing on the counter. Not at sorcery. Yeah, that's true. That's a good combo. But what I mean, we got to do what we got to do. But yeah, that's a great play from them. Attack with it, do the thing, and then untap it. Let's see if they do it. We gotta hope they don't, though, and create a treasure. Certainly this is how we could lose, although also we do get Vorpal Sword to start cracking back with a Death Touch. But... man, if they're smart, they're gonna do the line that Fluffy Puffy's calling out. Just attack and untap it, and it's gonna be really tough to beat that. If they go shields down for some unknown reason, we'll click our heels. But a smart Oppo is just gonna untap it now. Yeah, good job, Oppo. That's how we could lose. Them drawing a bazillion cards a turn as we can't kill their thing. So we're gonna have to... We can gargoyle and cast an equip sword. It's about... Or we could equip the torch so that we can fly... Yeah, we can get up there. And then putting the sword on it at least blocks and kills it. So let's start, well, here, let's start here. Four. Ward 4. Not super targetable right now. Awfully darn close to hexproof. Target creature gets minus. That doesn't do anything, so I might as well drain. And now the question. The trouble is if we equip sword or torch, we're really just suiciding in, but we do fly the gargoyle and literally next turn can Vorpal Sword equip. So I think we throw away the priest on the... Oh, except next turn if we don't draw swamp, we don't get to do that. So instead, we're going to sword up the gargoyle itself right now. And I'm doing this because now if the gargoyle lives... if the gargoyle dies, we're done for, gang. We're not going to be able to beat this 5/5. But now we have a spot where they get one more attack with it, with their 5/5. We untap, we equip the torch to an expendable. No! Please win this. Ugh, brutal. Brutal. Like I said, I mean, this isn't quite having it killed, but it might be close enough that we're just going to lose this game. This is a sick combo. Come on. Sick combo. And we even had an answer, but they had a little spare here. So, getting knocked out of the finals by the, quote, worst color. But worst color with its best card. Is there a better card in blue than this? I'm in good spirits because I've already accepted the loss. We're just going to lose here and take our 6-3 and be pretty happy about it. If something comes up where we come up with a win, great, but I'm just not seeing it. We're way too behind on value. Can almost get there in terms of just getting the Hawk to have enough power, but we're not. We can actually. Well, we can. This gives Death Touch, so this works. This works. Let's try to get the Death Touch, Hawk Sword Death Touch here. Now, if they take care of the Hawk, then yeah, we're back to... Well, we're also going to get the Gargoyle back. I mean, maybe we can survive this somehow. But they've gotten such an advantage. Equip the 3-4 with the torch and attack. So then we get a 4-5 attacking into a 5-5. Are you just thinking they wouldn't block? I mean, it seems like, quote, Oppo has everything, but they're drawing 3 cards a turn, so of course they have everything. Like, they're drawing 3 cards a turn. 4, if they can empty their hand. Mythic is not dumb. Mythic is dumb with the Conjurer. Like, we would be fine. We would be ahead if this Mythic had connected once and then we'd killed it. Nah, I think it's fine. Like, it's a Mythic. This is fine. This card is fine, and Oppo has turned it. Oppo's turned it from amazing into dumb. Yeah, I guess we can use the treasure to equip. All right. But we're also close. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I mean, we're at 8 mana. We can actually just pay the ward. Suit up Gargoyle and swing, though. We can't. Yeah, I do like the kill the Conjurer, though. But it doesn't have vigilance, does it? So I'm just going to go with this. I mean, when you draw 3 cards a turn, you just get to expend everything all the time. And they're just going to draw more removal. Like, this is just, it's impossible. This is just like, now I'm starting to sour and I got to pull back. Remember, Ryan, you already thought you were dead? Relax. The fact that you're even making a game of it is kind of interesting. But you can't let this connect that much and expect to win a game. Yeah, hooray, they only drew 1 today, this time. 1, 2, 3, Torch, Dungeoneer. We're at 2. Like, this doesn't matter. This doesn't matter, gang. I just noticed we're at 2. I should just move on. We're very dead. But we can draw a card here, so I should do that. See you, Molecule Man. See you next time. Why wouldn't you? All right. Yeah, it's just stupid when you're trying to overcome that much card advantage. That was not a beatable combo. An extremely beatable mythic with help that made it unbeatable. We'll take our 6. Starting 6-1 and ending 6-3 can feel kind of crappy. Actually, you just felt like you were on the verge of a... You had 2 shots at a trophy and you couldn't do it. Well, we couldn't. We'll crack some. I think we're probably at 10 plus here. Here you go. You get some... You get some cracking before I get cracking on something else today. Yeah, you get a profit meme. Deck did pretty well despite my best efforts to cause it to fail here and there. 6 and 3, you'll take that, of course, every time. If you had 6 and 3 every time, you'd be infinite by quite a lot. So never going to complain about a 6-3 run, and hard to complain too much about just losing to a great combo like Oppo assembled. There you go. Oh, sorry, Robert. I hope we give you some vicarious trophying around here and there. And we'll hope that YouTube is having some success as well. Let us know how the format's going, YouTube friends, and we'll catch you at the next draft. See ya.